People of the State of Michigan versus Donald Crump Jr., 18229, I'm sorry, 1822398. Mr. Crump is on probation on, in this case, on a charge of operating while intoxicated, third offense, a felony punishable by up to 5 years. His agent filed a petition alleging that he violated the terms of his probation, and Ms. Jackson has been here today to address it with him. He appeared by summons, and Mr. Crump has talked to Ms. Jackson. And Ms. Jackson, what does he wish to do?
Your Honor, he indicated that he is due for discharge soon, and he does owe some money, but he is willing to admit to, I believe it's count 2, not reporting his change of employment within 24 hours, count 2, violation of condition 4.25. He had some health issues, but feels that he just wants to finish out his probation and go on with his life.
What about count 1?
Well, that he, if
That one.
count one and count, I have a really weird format for this summons, and it's really difficult to read. Count 1 and
sorry.
count 3 we would ask that they would be dismissed.
Why is that?
Wow.
Count 1 is not reporting to his agent. Count 2 and 3 are the same. So
Right.
I
Well,
can see dropping 1 of 2 or 3, but 1 is that he didn't report as he was supposed to.
and the other was not right. And the other was not to
And the other was failing to notify that he lost his job.
24 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Crump, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You understand you're on probation on a charge of operating while intoxicated, third offense, which is a felony punishable by a maximum of up to 5 years in prison. You understand that?
Yes.
You also understand that your agent has filed a petition alleging 3 counts, 2 being the same. But these are all technical violations of your probation. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And these would be your first technical violations. Is that correct, Ms. Coney? All right. So, in terms of this, your probation, I used to be able to say that your probation could be revoked, it could be continued, or it could be modified. I've got to get used to saying that it can't be revoked on your first violation. You could be ordered to serve up to 15 days in jail on a first violation, or your terms could be modified, or your terms could be just continued. You are correct, you're about a month away from discharge. And the issue as far as the unpaid fines and costs are being addressed through the show cause, which you have set for May 17th. Again, you need to make a payment before May 17th or else be in court on May 17th. So we're addressing that. And as far as the community work service with COVID going on, that has not been practical and remains impractical to order community service. So we're here today on these violations. Count 1 is a violation that alleges that you failed to report on April 13th to your agent as you were supposed to do on that date. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Count 2 is an allegation that you failed to notify your agent that you lost your job within 24 hours, and that on March 16th you didn't report to your agent that you'd lost your job at Waste Management, which would have been the time that you were supposed to have done it. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
And then count 3 is exactly the same. So, I won't count that as a separate one. It's just another term that requires you to notify any of change of address or change of employment status, and you failed to do that. All right. So has anyone promised you anything to get you to plead?
No.
Anybody threaten you?
No.
Okay. And so what happened? Why did you miss your appointment on the, well, let's go backwards. You lost your job at Waste Management in March. Why didn't you tell your agent?
Well, when I had talked to her through Duo, I pretty much said that I was not going to be able to work there because I was sick.
Okay, but at some point you got terminated. Correct?
Yes.
You didn't tell her that. So when you talked to her, you said, with me being sick, I'm gonna have a hard time working there. What you didn't tell her was, it happened, I'm not working there anymore. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay, and you understand the difference is like, I'm gonna have a hard time making it to work versus I got fired because I didn't make it to work.
Yes.
One suggests you may get fired, the other one is that you did get fired. So, and you didn't notify her of that. And then why is it you didn't show up for your appointment on the 13th?
I got into it with my dad, and I use a Wi-Fi phone, and I left for a couple of days to let things cool down. And I called that Thursday. I left a message. The 517 number I had where I couldn't get anyone to answer, so I left a message at the main office, and it said she wouldn't be back in until the 19th. And I kept trying to call, and I couldn't. You know, I have it in my record that I was trying to call.
But you didn't call on the 13th.
No, I did not.
Okay, all right. Again, not an excuse, but, you know, an explanation that you didn't just fall off the face of the earth. You tried to get a hold of her, but, you know, you missed your appointment. All right?
Yes.
I find the pleas are made knowingly, understandingly, and voluntarily, and there's a factual basis for them. And again, Mr. Crump, this is the new Michigan criminal justice system. Before something like this, you know, it would not have been brought to my attention because you did contact her and you worked it out. Now the agents are required to notify me of every potential, because it requires 4 violations before we can do anything if it's not working for you. Really what it's saying is make sure the defendant knows where he's messing up or she's messing up, and we can address it without having to put you in jail, without having to do all those things. So again, jail is a last resort, and probation is the goal of probation is for you to complete it satisfactorily, and here's where you're messing up by not doing the things you need to do. So one of it's to make sure that you understand that things aren't going to be allowed to slide anymore, and then 2, you know, if we need to get to the point where we have to revoke it, we have a solid basis for it. All right, so Ms. Coney, what's your recommendation?
I do want to say that I recognize that you have been on probation for quite some time with no violations, and I do feel overall you're doing pretty good. But I do want to remind you that you do need to participate in your probation, and that you are on probation, and that you do need to report. And your minimum, or your reporting requirements are rather minimum. I only have to see you virtually over the telephone once a month. I did make several attempts to call you back as well, and waited outside of our timelines for DOC in order to reach you. But also, you know, in March, I had to track you down as well. It took me 6 days to get a hold of you to take your report. So there's kind of a pattern there the last 2 months where I'm working harder to reach you than you are to call in for your report. And I would appreciate it if that would change. I won't be recommending an extension for your probation due to the fact that you can't really do your community service right now because of COVID rules. However, no, I went into this believing I was going to recommend some jail time for you, just because I did feel that you weren't putting forth any effort to make your report. However, after you did contact me today before your hearing and we had a chance to talk, I'm not going to be recommending any jail time.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson?
Your Honor, I think that would resolve it with Mr. Crump. We are asking that, of course, ask the court to follow the agent's recommendation of no jail time for this violation.
Okay, Mr. Crump, you heard your agent say something right there that's extremely important. She said in March you did the same thing, but she didn't file a petition. What changed is April 1st, these rules all changed. April 1st, you missed your appointment, and even though you tried calling and everything, she issued the petition. And so that's what she has to do now. So there's no more of this, her chasing you down. You have to follow the rules of your probation, and if you don't follow the rules of your probation, she brings it in front of me, and then you got to come in front of me and explain. I appreciate that you've been on this for 3 years, and this is the first time I've seen your case. You have a short time to go. You're almost off probation. She's not recommending an extension. She's not recommending jail. It's a, you know, we're doing the summons now, whereas before it would have been a warrant, and you showed up as you were supposed to, and you contacted your agent. So I'm more than happy to follow that. So this is a stern lecture on our part that you need to work with Ms. Coney to make this a success. Stay in contact with her. Don't avoid her. If there's an issue, call her and let her know. And don't call her at 6 o'clock at night. Don't call her at 10 o'clock at night. You know, call her during the day, and then she'll get back in touch with you, and you listen for your messages too. But, you know, I get that all the time. Well, I call her. Well, what time did you call her? Midnight. Well, okay. Don't do that either, okay?
This is 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Well, that's even early too. You know, if you got kids, getting them to school, you know.
Well, the parole thing opened at 8 o'clock, and I wanted to be the first one to let her know what happened. But March,
good for you. All right.
Bobby switched me over to her, and I had the dates wrong for March.
Okay. All right. So when's his next report? When do you want him to report again?
Tuesday, May 11th at 3 o'clock via Duo.
Okay, Mr. Crump.
May 11th at 3 o'clock?
Yep. Please call in on Duo.
Okay. Can
Great.
you send me the number? Because I don't know the number for Duo, because I had to reset my phone. Or do I dial the 517 number?
No, don't give the numbers out over the air. Just call your agent, and she'll get you the invite to Duo. Okay? Your Duo is just the same phone number. You just do it through Duo.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right.